Edward here from earviewer.com. I have another video for you. Again, I'm continuing along exploring this part of the process that Ingo Swann termed the aesthetic impact. And again, if we look at the definition of why Ingo chose these specific words to describe his experience, an aesthetic is a pure emotional sensation. And an impact, by definition, one of the definitions of impact is the effect or the influence of a new idea. So we can look at the aesthetic impact again as the impact of a pure emotional sensation, and that's the part of the experience. And Ingo, when he was looking at what he experienced as he was attempting to acquire these specific points in time and space, attempting to describe his experience of these points in time and space, he did recognize that he had an aesthetic impact. And so I'm very curious about all aspects of the process, and I'm very curious about how we experience these aesthetic impacts. And in the process, again, in my experience, we're dealing with the input, the flash of input, and the resulting mental and emotional processes that are stimulated after the input flashes through. What you'll see in this one, the point in time and space, or the target, was a small fishing town in Suffolk, UK, called Felixstowe Ferry, I believe is the name of the little fishing town. It's a little town, a very old fishing town. It's been for about 1,000 years. It was one of the main little fishing ports for the country. And they did local fishing, and they also went as far as New Zealand in their fishing expeditions and that kind of thing. And so as I was going through this process, and I was getting the boats and this type of thing, and again, that doesn't make any significance to me to draw boats and that kind of thing as that correlate to the target. I'm looking specifically for the process of the aesthetic. And so I did not want to get caught up in shape, form, and all that kind of stuff. I was continuing along, and I was waiting for the aesthetic to come above the threshold, which it finally did. And it came through in words and concepts, and in this case it was the words of longing. It was longing that came through, and longing led to an opening of the emotional things that I was feeling, which was this kind of loneliness and this feeling of, and I even say it during the experience, of someone they're away on a ship for long periods of time, and they miss their family, and they can't wait to get home, and they hope they can get home. They hope they don't die along the journey, and they miss their children and all of that kind of thing, and those were the emotions that I was experiencing in relation to this specific point in time and space. And so that's what makes it very important to me, is to explore specific parts of the process and how I experience them. I want to explore how I experience an aesthetic, and that's another thing that I really, what is most rewarding to me about this process, whether you call it remote viewing or I like to call it perceptual expressionism, is that if I were to look at the feedback photo of this small little fishing town, I probably would not have the range of emotional understanding that I am able to experience through the remote viewing aspect of it. And so that allows me to have a greater range of emotional understanding of what this town represents, or any point in time and space. This process allows me to gain a comprehension and an understanding of it that is beyond what I normally experience. And so I hope you find that interesting, and I find it fascinating, and many more to come. Triggers. But the emotional triggers. The emotional triggers. How does it come through? Does it come through? Does it trigger a word or a memory that then stimulates an emotion? You got the input flash, you got the mental process, and then the emotional reaction. But the emotional, so what am I looking at? What do I want to experience? I want to experience the emotional sensations. The emotional sensation. If there is one. If there is one. If there is one, I am looking for it. The point, this is a point, what is it? It's a point in time and space. That's what it is. It's a point in time and space. 4507. Round and flat and dense and open. Far, curving, angular, pointed. 4507. 4507. 4507. 4507. Edged, sharp, inside, green, blue. 4507. Four, 507. Angular, large, moving. I'm getting some kind of random thought here, or unimpeded. Stowing or stewing? Stowing is giving me a memory comparison of a large ship, a passenger liner. A large ship. Yeah. But it also could be some type of shape, just a shape form as well, with something inside. Four, 507. Also getting this another run of classic. Put this up here. Classic has specific meanings to me. That I'll maybe explore them later. 4507. 4507. Winding. Close. Hang on. 4507. 4507. Smooth. Angular, metallic, green, moving, outside, curved, like that. And this is, I'm getting obviously image comparators of a boat, but also of a potted plant. A potted plant. So it's a shape form. It's a shape form that I don't want to get too caught up in it. It's a shape form. 4507. White. Metallic. Glassy. Smooth. Inside. Green. Moving. Voices. Humid. Dense. Heavy. Packed. Packed. Packed and green and angular. Packed and green and angular. What else? Looping. Looping, mechanical. 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 Humid. Humid, mechanical. Heavy. Heavy, dense, looping, mechanical. And this is giving me memory comparators of flowers. Flowers. Still no emotional or aesthetic here. 4507. 4507. 4507. Windy. Green, again, green. Blue. Angular. Large. Mechanical. Dense, smooth. Moving. Something mechanical. Mechanical. What does that mean? Mechanical, metallic, moving, parts. What else mechanical? Mechanical. Churning. I keep getting these images. This is image addition. This could be creative additions. This is creative additions of city landscape. And Chicago, because I had a conversation about Chicago. It's bringing that up. Still in my mind. 4507. Humid. Dense. Billowing. There's something moving. I'm getting comparators of like a billowing smokestack or something. That's the comparator that I have in my mind, but it's also coming back to the image of the boat, like a steam liner or something like that. And that still feels like a comparator, so 4507, 4507, but angular though, angular and large. Angular, angular, angular. Angular, angular, angular. That's what about it though? What about it? 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 Angular, 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 angular. Angular, crossed. Crossed, yeah. Where would the crossed be? You know, that's something that feels crossed or something like that. Something's cross beams, angular, 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 edge, angular, crossing and moving, and moving. You know, there's like some kind of moving here. Moving. What is it? Mechanical moving. Showing. Gives me the idea of a display. Showing or a display. What is it now? See? Still, I'm getting mental processes, but I'm not really feeling a strong input stimulator. And I'm not experiencing any emotional sensations. Let's try this again. At this point, angular feels strong. Move to the angular and describe. What is that angular thing? It feels like it's tall. This is this shape form that I'm getting with, you know, with all these kind of cross things, you know. I'm just trying to get this out of my system because all these cross things. You know, intricate, complex, but this thing here, this object, this thing here, like there's something to this, there's something to this. Something here, it's like an object or something, like an object, yeah. An object here, that doesn't feel right. This is a shape form comparator. What else is it? Just like I'm getting image comparators of like lighthouse, a castle, tower, like that. Like that, the shape. These are image comparators. These are image comparators here, but the shape. I'm getting this. This is AI. This is conceptual AI, but a longing. Longing. Okay, that's like my first emotional feeling. What does longing mean? A longing means you're waiting, you know, kind of lonely, separated, you know, separated. Another piece. I'm going through this is idea generation. This is an idea. This is a conceptualization. This is a concept. Conceptualization. Longing, separate, another P. Separated. But how does that deal with this? Like something here feels a longing for this. This is giving me either a creative addition or an idea here of being in space. You know, this would be the Earth, that kind of thing, and missing it. That's really the feeling. Missing it. Wanting to go home, wanting to go back. Wanting to go home. Long way from home. Long way from home. That's kind of the feeling there. That's the feeling. A long way from home. A long way from home. What else about this? A longing. I'm going to stick with the aesthetic. A long way from home. Another feeling is tiring. Tiring, you know, like a tiring. Tiring meaning what? Tiring. How can I better describe that? Tiring as in exhaustive. Exhaustive meaning it's like a tiring journey. It's a tiring thing. It's an exhausting endeavor. It's It's an exhausting endeavor. It's a tiring thing. Wanting to go back home, a long way from home. It's like an exhaustive journey. It's an exhaustive journey. You know, longing, exhaustive journey. You know, like no rest. No rest, no rest. No rest. Yeah. But that feeling, there's something about the, something else that I don't like. I don't like. I don't like the feeling here either. Exhausted journey, no rest, long way from home. Is a feeling of separation. Feeling of separation. Feeling of separation. That's the feeling. This is the feeling that I don't like. There's fear in there. There's fear. What is the fear of? Fear of not getting home, so to speak. Fear of not getting back. Fear of not seeing loved ones again. Lost time. Lost time. Like if a father goes off to work and he's gone for 5 years, you know, like he's on a ship or something like that, and then he comes back and he didn't see his children grow, that kind of thing. You know, lost time, missed life experience. You know, that kind of thing, that kind of thing, like that, longing and separation and journey and feeling separated and that kind of thing. You know, feeling of separation. All right, that's all I have time for.